Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Darian. I got my man Jay Fax with me, two of the three members that's supposed to be on here for the Dream Team. Shout out to DMG. He gave me the opportunity to put together a show. I wanted to, since we do a lot of discussions on ideologies, I wanted to get into one that a lot of people don't really talk about a lot. So today I wanted to talk about transhumanism and the dark side of the technological integration. So part of the reason why I wanted to bring this together is simply because a lot of people, A, don't know what transhumanism is. B, when we talk about transhumanism, there's a lot of, nuances to it. There's levels to it. And then C, we just need to have, I think we need to have a conversation about, what that means for our future. So without further ado, I'm gonna lock right in and just start jumping on into the content. Hey, Fax, you got anything you wanted to say?
Nah, let's jump into it, bro.
All right, say less. All right, I'm full screen that. So what is humanism? What is transhumanism? Transhumanism is an intellectual and cultural movement that advocates for the use of advanced technologies to enhance human physical and cognitive abilities, potentially transforming the human condition. All right. So you got genetic engineering, which involves modifying the genetic makeup to improve health, increase lifespan, and enhance physical and cognitive abilities. This could lead to the elimination of hereditary diseases and the enhancement of human capabilities beyond their natural state. I'm gonna just go through the different layers first, and then we'll unpack. There's also cybernetic enhancements like prosthetics, brain-computer interfaces. We know about that. What's that? Neuralink is a form of enhancement. You got other implants, which aim to integrate artificial components and technology with the human body, potentially replacing or augmenting biological functions. So again, that was cybernetic enhancements. Don't forget one of the ones that we kind of overlooked that it seemed like it popped up overnight: computer AI or artificial intelligence, which plays a crucial role in transhumanism by augmenting human intelligence, decision-making, and problem-solving capabilities. AI can assist in medical diagnostics, personalized treatment plans, and even enhancing cognitive functions through brain-computer interfaces. Don't forget life extension. So another part of transhumanism is you have life extension research, which focuses on significantly extending the human lifespan and improving the quality of life through medical and technological innovations, such as advanced therapies, regenerative medicine, and anti-aging treatments. This one is mind uploading. My apologies for having it skewed on the screen. I didn't realize that was the case. If you join in, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You're going to get the latest and greatest. Hit that bell icon. You want to keep up with the debates. Let's get ready to come up with the battle of the ideologies. Shout outs to Classic Craig and Ratchet Craig for putting together a beautiful tournament. I'm definitely looking forward to that. But moving on to the next one, mind uploading is a theoretical concept that involves transferring or emulating human consciousness in a digital format, allowing the possibility of digital immortality. So this one is one of the ones that I've been peeping just in discussions that they've been working on with trying to figure out how to, copy the entire brain. And it's movies about this type of stuff. And, whenever they discuss it in movies, it seems like after a few years, they begin to start working on the technologies and the things that could lead you down this road. So let's talk about the ethical considerations of transhumanism. So what are the ethics of transcendent humanity? Transhumanism envisions a future where humans can transcend current physical and mental limitations, leading to profound changes in society, ethics, and individual identity. It raises various ethical and philosophical and theological questions regarding the nature of humanity, the implications of enhanced capabilities, and the potential societal impact of widespread technological enhancements. While the promise of overcoming human limitations is enticing, it is essential to consider the ethical implications and potential risks associated with these advancements. So I just wanted to put this out there because a lot of people we overlook. We look at all the good, but what about the negative side of what transcendent humanity would be? Like, are you still a human once you develop brain chips like what's that Elon Musk is making? Like, those are some questions that we could talk about. So my first question is, and facts, I want you to jump in at any time. So a couple of questions I have from a Christian standpoint, a Christian ethical standpoint. What are the boundaries or considerations regarding the integration of technology into human biology, such as an implantable device or genetic modifications within the context of transhumanism? You got any, you got a response to that?
To the question itself?
Yeah, question one. From a Christian ethical standpoint, what are the boundaries or considerations regarding integration of technology into human biology, such as implantable devices or genetic modifications? So within the context of transhumanism, what do you feel like? Do you feel like it's a safe bet to integrate with technology by implantable chips, cybernetics, and things of that nature?
See, the issue for me, if we talking from the Christian perspective, right? If we talking from the Christian perspective, the issue for me comes down to whether or not it's going to be a corruptible place, right? And anything where humankind exists, it's corruptible, right? Like anywhere where there's a human being, it's corruptible. That's just what it is. I hate to sound so bleak about it, but that's just the case in point. Anybody can be tempted, et cetera, right? From a Christian standpoint, when you consider the implications ethically, we just looking at the benefits itself, I can't argue with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's people out here who come back from war, who come back from anything. Like, it could be a diabetic that lost their leg and they end up needing their leg amputated. They need a prosthetic leg or a prosthetic arm. And there's amazing technological advances that allows for you to even operate in a normal sense to that effect. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing unethical about that. You get what I'm saying? The possibilities, though, and this is all, of course, speculation because it hasn't taken place. You know what I'm saying? But I can absolutely see where it could. You get what I'm saying? If we're talking about the ethics of it all in regards to the corruptibility of it, we don't have to look too far, right? Consider the fact that Boston, I think it's Boston Dynamics.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Boston Dynamics.
They developed a police dog that was being used in New York for a short period of time, and it very biased, you know what I'm saying, was used against the political term people are using right now is people of color. You see what I'm saying? There's a certain level of corruption that exists there as a result of that. You tracking what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my only concern. I don't think if I'm speaking about from a Christian standpoint, there's nothing, and I got a bunch of scriptures I can reference concerning this, of course. From the Christian standpoint, there's nothing wrong with you doing something to help your fellow man that's actually going to benefit your fellow man. There's a lot that goes into it concerning the corruptibility of it. And like I said, anything where a human being exists, it can be corrupted, sadly. Like I don't see anything wrong with an implant that assists with the removal of cancer from the human body. In fact, there's a Black woman who's working on targeting cancer specifically using lasers. You can Google this. You can Google this. You see what I'm saying? They put a cell in you, from what I understand, they put a cell in you, and they use a laser to target that cancer specifically without damaging any other part of your body. You know, chemotherapy is a wide covering treatment. It covers the entire body. It doesn't affect just the cancerous cells. You track what I'm saying? It affects your entire body, your hair fall out, et cetera, et cetera. To that effect, if we're helping a person, I'm with it. I'm on board. I think it's amazing. I don't think there's any restrictions from a Christian perspective using it in that context. However, when it comes to the corruption, like I mentioned moments ago on like reality of simulated existence on the Rise channel, the Boston Dynamics RoboCops is definitely an issue, bro. Because like I said, I don't want to make it a race thing. I'm pointing out the fact that there's corruption possible, right?
For sure.
Like, there's corruption possible. Anything where humans exist is corruption possible. We see it in real time. Like they're sinking electric robotic dogs on human beings. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't rationalize with a robotic dog. You see what I'm saying? There's no way for you to tell it to stop. There's someone controlling it. You track what I'm saying? And God forbid, I think you even brought up AI, the incorporation of AI and things of that nature. Like, anyway, bro, I don't want to go too deep. You asked me one question. From a Christian ethical standpoint, what are the boundaries and considerations? It's very simple. It falls in line with royal law. It falls in line with royal law. Love your neighbors, you love yourself. The minute it crosses that threshold, it's a problem. And I'm gonna lay my plane.
No, that was a good point, bro. I definitely like where you was coming from with that. You was definitely cooking. I'm gonna read a comment from out the chat that kind of said something similar to what you were saying. Shout out to our supporters. Reality is simulated existence on the Raj channel, and they say there is no real scriptural Torah limit when it comes to transhumanism, and so in that particular aspect, a lot of the things that you were saying, I definitely could agree with. I can't think of anything particularly at this particular moment in juncture with the technology and the use case that we went over. Getting rid of cancer, somebody in the military get their legs blown off, somebody getting their legs blown off that was at war. Those things are, I think, noble causes, and because you went to war, you lost your legs, and we have the ability to get you back walking or into some form of mobility, or having an arm when you lost somehow your arm deteriorated and you have an implant that helps you connect to your synapses, and then you can use your hands again. I think those things are pretty cool. And the technology for it is there, and we've been working hard to bring those things to the next level. So I definitely agree that in those use cases, I don't really see a big issue in that particular aspect. You also mentioned faction. You had mentioned that in New York, obviously being in New York, being from New York, you knew that there was a time when they had those Boston Dynamics four-legged dog things. I'm not sure what the actual term is right away, but shout out. Right. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I always thought it was like, okay, so you're using those as part of the police force to a degree. It could have potential negative impacts if used in the wrong way. Putting them in predominantly Black neighborhoods or people of color, anywhere where those things.
Exactly it, G. Because we look at just humans on humans, right? Like we see situations kind of like what happened in Baltimore, bro, in the late 80s, early 90s. You know what I'm saying? The Wire kind of touched on this. They allowed drug dealing to be kept in certain neighborhoods. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How evil could this get if we allowed situations where robots were policing people? You know what I'm saying? These dogs are allowed to roam free in these areas, heavily, of course, policing those areas. They're gonna bring down, forget an iron fist. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be excessive. And I'm really trying not to be long-winded. Forgive me for that. But I just think that's the area of corruptibility that definitely 150% that should be worrisome to anybody, not just a Christian, but anybody should be concerned with that.
No, that's real. Good looks, Jay. I'm gonna hold on to these next two questions until we come back around and just keep this moving. So I added a component where I talked about a dystopian future, the dark side of technological integration, right? So in In an increasingly interconnected world, technology promises to enhance human capabilities, streamline daily life, and provide unprecedented convenience. However, the same advancements carry the potential for creating a dystopian future where individual freedoms are severely restricted, privacy is non-existent, and human life is monitored and controlled to an unsettling degree. Now, before I get into the second paragraph, I wanted to make a point. Another thing, for people who work at like McDonald's or Burger King, you do realize they're developing robots to just take over the job, right?
That's already in place, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There are warehouses that use very few workers and have more technological systems in place, whether it's robots or AI to do your taxes. It's going to come to the point where a lot of human integrated jobs will go to robots, or will go to AI, or will go to, somebody with enhancements. So the average person won't be able to really get into that thing. So like, I get it. Bomb squad. No, you don't want to hurt a person going into a building that could potentially explode in seconds. You rather lose a robot than a real person. However, going to ordering your food from Papa John's and then a Tesla with a hot and ready bag built into the side of the car, drop your food off, that gets rid of the pizza man. You know what I'm saying? So those are the type of things that we got to look at. Like, do we want to lose a lot of our jobs to these type of things? So I'm going to continue on where it says the rise of transhumanism and cybernetic enhancements. Transhumanism advocates for the use of technology to transcend human limitations, envisioning a future where genetic engineering, cybernetic enhancements, and artificial intelligence significantly improve health, cognition, and longevity. While these advancements offer remarkable benefits, they also raise the ethical concerns. So in a dystopian society, such technologies could be used to create a class divide between the enhanced and the non-enhanced, exacerbating social inequalities and leading to a new form of discrimination. And so, we was basically already.
That was a mouthful, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, writing it down was cool, but saying exacerbating social inequalities and leading to a new form of discrimination in a sentence back to back was crazy.
Yeah, that was a mouthful, bro. See, even the notion in and of itself is bananas, right? When you think about it, because we, as human beings, we tend to look for opportunities to one up the next man. It's really crazy. You know what I mean? We see it in the very minute ways, the minuscule ways. Well, Jay, what you talking about? We see it with people like being biased about people with Androids because of blue bubbles and text messages, stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we always find a way to set ourselves apart from others. You track what I'm saying? How much more if people were able to literally augment themselves and make themselves literally remarkably better on a physical sense, or genetically for that matter? You know what I'm saying? They literally set themselves apart and begin to, much like you were saying there moments ago, exacerbate social inequalities. You know what I mean? It would go from being just a matter of any race or anything like that to not even just class, but like, get away from me. It was a movie I was watching, bro, and they was calling them water bags. They was calling
yeah. What movie was that again?
I can't remember, bro. They was calling human beings flesh bags or water bags. It was really crazy. I was like, bro, it'll get ugly. It'll get real ugly real quick.
That was dope. That's a good point. I'm gonna move on because I don't want it to be super long-winded. So let's start getting into some of this new technology that people aren't really so familiar with. Geofencing, a tool for control. Geofencing technology which uses GPS or RFID to create virtual boundaries has applications in tracking, marketing, and security. However, and keep in mind, I'm using dystopian a dystopian scenario because I want people to kind of understand how things could go if things go left.
I'm sorry, are we
Geofencing.
talking about redlining from a digital perspective?
Hey, you beat me to it. So that's facts. So geofencing could be used to restrict movement, enforce curfews, and monitor citizens' whereabouts at all times. So imagine a world where entering or exiting certain zones without authorization triggers penalties or alerts to authorities effectively. So that's creating digital prisons and undermining personal freedom. So that's one of the things that a lot of people don't really key in on, right? Did you wanted to jump on that topic?
With the man, bro, we've already incorporated so much GPS features in our lives on a day-to-day basis. It's not even necessary to really even explain that. Like, we've already set ourselves up for that. Look, somebody in the comments said, when you see the symptoms, by the time you see the symptoms, the cancer is already well advanced. That's a fact. That's a fact. We already see it, bro. You can literally geotag pictures that you've taken. You see what I'm saying? Like, we got to the point where we're walking around with devices that can literally be found. Case in point, I have the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2. You familiar with the tech, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm familiar. I'm definitely familiar with the tag.
Yeah, I got the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2. Right.
Mhm.
If I leave, I kid you not, if I left one of those anywhere, I'm not even making this up, G. I can triangulate exactly where it is by someone else passing by that place with a similar device that uses Bluetooth technology.
Mhm.
It's insane. It's insane to say the least, bro. So this to me, we've already set ourselves up for like redlining from a technical aspect. Like we're in line. I'm not even going to say we set ourselves up. We already lined up for it. It's well underway. It already exists. But honestly, I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. We've really been set up for it even before then. If you really think about it, bro, you can't even go into certain banks and get loans for certain addresses. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you
That's
go to a
facts.
bank and try to get a loan or get a, what's it called? Not a loan. If you go to a bank or try to get your crib appraised and you're black, they change the whole game for you. You see what I'm saying? Like, everything changes. So, I'm trying my best not to, like, go super political with it, but it's insane, bro. This stuff already exists.
I mean, these things have political implications, so I'm glad you brought it up. And so I'm gonna move forward because that was a good point. So the vision of 15-minute cities, right? So the concept of 15-minute cities aims to create urban areas where residents can access most of their daily needs within a short walk or bike ride from their homes, promoting sustainability and reducing reliance on cars. While this concept is well intentioned, it could also be manipulated in a dystopian future. Keep in mind, that's in movies, video games, and anime. Dystopian futures are crazy. So authorities might use the guise of convenience to limit travel, confine people to their local areas, and monitor their activities more closely, reducing opportunities for free movement and action. So we already know that in certain cases, that they're already working on 15-minute cities. A lot of major cities, I think New York has one they bringing up. I think there's another one in like Washington State or some LA. There's a few of them. There's one in Hawaii that they want to work on. Like I've seen the list. In most major cities, they want 15-minute cities. And it's just very interesting that we just talked about geofencing, and then the next slide was 15-minute cities. Putting those two things together could potentially not be a good thing. I'm gonna move to the next slide. So you mentioned this, and reality is simulated existence on the rise. That channel mentioned it as well a few minutes ago. So Spot, Mini Spot, Atlas, and Handle. That's Boston Dynamics. Those are their flagship products. So robot dogs, autonomous surveillance. So Boston Dynamics are known for basically search and rescue and companionship models for people with disabilities. So, but think of this. In the dystopian context, these robots could be deployed extensively for surveillance and control, equipped with cameras, sensors. They could patrol the streets. They can monitor crowds. They can enforce laws autonomously, leading to an omnipresent surveillance state where every action can be recorded and scrutinized. Also, I've already seen a few demonstrations where they use Spot and Mini Spot to shoot guns. Like they had AK-47s attached. You saw that, right? You know, so
I didn't. I didn't know they were shooting.
Yeah, they have the ability to shoot. I started to add it to the presentation, but it slipped my mind. No, those, like, you can go on YouTube and you can pull up somebody co-signing us too. Those things can actually shoot. You know, imagine being killed by a bulletproof dog. You know what I'm saying? You just walking down the street and it accidentally misconstrue you with somebody else that was running from the police, and then they kill you, that dog, you know what I'm saying? Or it sees you as a target simply because you fit the description of whatever was programmed to it. So now you stuck in a house.
You seeing how corruptible this shit is, bro. It's insane.
Correct. And a lot of people not really being realistic about this. Guns don't kill people. It's the person behind the trigger. So I'm saying that a person can program these things for nefarious uses. Because there's a lot of people that are on some pinky in the brain type stuff trying to take over the world.
Let's take it a bit further, right? Let's say that the law enforcement had the best of intentions and actually use these things the way they're supposed to. How does that stop people who are technologically astute from hacking these devices and using them against mankind? Now we're talking about a different type of terrorism. You see what I'm saying?
No, that's crazy. No, that's something. This is why I put together the shows, because I just wanted to give people the mindset behind these particular devices. A lot of people are not realizing how things go. A lot of people aren't, they're not thinking about technology the way it could be, presented. Like, everything looks good on the surface, but if I could come up with these ideas, somebody else could come up with these ideas. So let's go a little deeper. Let's talk about China's surveillance and digital integration. Did you know that China owns over 50% of the world's surveillance cameras and has 50% is a big number.
Yo, that's insane, bro.
50% of the world's surveillance cameras and has integrated its central bank digital currency with platforms like WeChat and WePay. So what they did was they developed this as a part of a social credit score system. And this system, points can be deducted for various infractions. And the low score can restrict access to essential services like food, travel, or even charging an electrical vehicle. This integration exemplifies how technology can be used to control and manipulate populations, creating a society where dissent is punished and conformity is enforced. So, yeah, like think about it. Spyware on your computer, right?
Finish it in the next 30 minutes. So I know you got to go. The keys are right there. I'll put them over there for you to grab them.
So imagine having somebody watching you from a camera or something like that, right? You got people sitting behind cameras with the AI developed, whereas though it's watching you left the house, you jaywalked, you got a demerit. Oh, you skipped out of paying your tab, you got a demerit.
See, stuff like that. what's wild, bro, and here's where I'm kind of torn about it, right? Right? Even if as a Christian standpoint, you feel me? Even from a Christian standpoint, the Bible talks about the law being a terror to those that do evil. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you out here doing criminal mischief, then you should be punished accordingly. I'm not against these things being used the way they should be used to make the world better. You track what I'm saying? My issues with it being used in nefarious ways. You track what I'm saying? Like you just shoot, like, bro, we already have an issue with people can't get like they can't. You know how long it takes? I'm actually running a theory on this. I'm running a theory on this. Just my speculation. I feel like there's even concerns with credit scores and a person's color or their race playing a part in how fast their credit goes up or not. You track what I'm saying? It's a theory on this. I'm running the numbers and things of that nature. But I feel like it plays a part. How much more nefarious is it going to get, bro, if we incorporate something like this? You track what I'm saying? Oh, that's a black guy. Or that's a black woman. You know what I'm saying? Or they like it can get real ugly. You track what I'm saying? Like where a person's life is completely upended. You get what I'm saying? Like we turn a person's life upside down just because we have the power to. You see what I'm saying?
100%. And so I just imagine getting a demerit for getting into an altercation. Somebody like fussed you out, being disrespectful, and you were shouting in public.
You
and
defended yourself, right?
Yeah, and because you was too loud, you was 2 decibels. Cause think about it, these things could probably hear you 2 decibels over the sound rules. Like they're gonna have rules for everything,
bro. Everything, bro. Everything.
Like because in China,
like an episode of Black Mirror. You ever
seen that show? Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Like, you know, I think it's crazy because a lot of people don't realize the ramifications with this. If China has this level of surveillance already in place where there's a social credit score, it can get worse. People in America don't think that it could happen here, but we have the technology. It's already available. So I brought up everybody's favorite tech guy, Elon Musk. Let's talk about his technological empire. For those who don't know, Elon Musk ventures in the high-tech industries. To further illustrate the potential for a dystopian future, Neuralink, a company developing brain implants aimed to enhance human capabilities. But let's go with our dystopian scenario. So these implants could be used for mind control, surveillance. You know, Tesla smart. He has the smart cars. They can be equipped with surveillance and tracking. Those things actually have cameras on the side of the vehicle, so potentially somebody key your car, you could see that person. But those things can be used. Those things can be used against you. And so,
bro, a fact, bro. I just finished describing to you moments ago that my Bluetooth headsets can triangulate my exact location if there's other smart devices in the area. I was in a Tesla in the passenger seat personally. I don't necessarily like them vehicles. You know what I'm saying? I prefer internal combustion, but bro, you can literally see the objects around the car based on the infrared technology surrounding the vehicle, bro. It's insane. Like it's really wild. I'm ranting. Forgive me, bro. Keep going through your spill, bro. My fault.
No, you good. You know, and so so basically, what did I say? Musk control over a major social media company and a network of satellites providing internet connectivity links. These technologies creating a web of surveillance and control that is difficult to escape. So let me explain. Don't forget you have Starlink. Elon Musk owns those satellites. Basically, it's high-power internet. Even during the war in Ukraine, I think they activated those. His internet is a lot better than the internet that we have for whatever reason. I don't know all the pros and cons of it, but think about he owns formerly known as Twitter X. Imagine if that became our social our social network, like WeChat and WePay or something like that. Like imagine using the cars. If you get rid of fossil fuel cars, and if I had a problem with you and you drive outside of your 15-minute city and the geofencing is activated, your car shuts down. Imagine having a brain chip, man, and you thinking about leaving the country, and it tells on you and little robotic dogs pull up on you. Like, where you think you going, my boy? Like, that can happen. We have the technology, or you go to the wrong website on your computer. You see what I'm saying? So the tools to create a web around you are there.
Yeah, the entire infrastructure already exists.
And so a lot of people just don't understand. But moving along, so that's called a tech totalitarianism. That was horrible. Totalitarianism. Sorry. I was going right the whole word out. Technological totalitarianism. So in the dystopian future, the technological advancements could converge to create a society where individual freedoms are severely restricted and privacy is a thing of the past. Governments and corporations might use AI and robots to monitor and control every aspect of life, from movement to communication to personal thoughts and behaviors. AI-driven surveillance systems could analyze vast amounts of data in real time, identifying and targeting individuals who deviate from the accepted norms. Robots and drones could enforce laws and maintain order, reducing the need for human intervention and increasing the efficiency of control mechanisms. Social credit systems could reward conformity and punish dissent, creating a population that is conditioned to obey without question. And people don't realize that we low-key got TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, where you hit the like button. You got comments. If they don't like what you say, they can kick you off. You can be canceled. Like, those things are already in place. Already. And a lot of people just have not seen it.
Not only that, we enable it and support it. Like, cancel culture is a part of the entire idea of people just being shut down and having their lives destroyed just because we don't like what it is they're saying or doing.
No, that's facts too. That's real. Cancel culture can be dangerous. Losing your house because you can't pay bills because you were canceled from doing your job. So the implications of such a dystopian future are profound. The loss of privacy and freedom could stifle creativity, innovation, and individuality. Social inequalities could widen as technological enhancements become accessible only to the wealthy. Human relationships could become strained as trust diminishes in a world where every action is monitored and recorded. While the technological advancements we see today hold incredible potential, they also carry significant risk. As we move forward, it is crucial to consider the ethical implications of these technologies and to put safeguards in place to protect individual freedoms and privacy. Without careful oversight and regulation, the future could very well resemble a dystopian scenario depicted in some science fiction movie. So, where the technology is used not to liberate, but to control and oppress. And so, think about back when we was kids, when Nintendo 64 came out. When Nintendo 64 came out, they had 4 ports, remember? Everybody would come to the house to play the game.
Right.
Nowadays, all the games are designed for one player, and then you have to play over social media or play over the internet. That's crazy, you know? Like, we used to be able to go to each other's houses and hang out. Nowadays, if you're not at your designated house and I'm at my designated house, local play is a thing of the past in most cases. Remember when Call of Duty was 2 players co-op at the same house?
Yeah, split screen. That shit is dead. That's become obsolete.
Because they don't, that makes me feel like they don't want us in the same location.
I mean, I don't think that's a matter of feeling.
You know?
I don't think that's a matter of feeling. That's a fact.
And so I just encourage everybody to really think about these things. And
well, in the macro, if we talk about the implications, if you don't mind,
yeah, go for it.
The implications of it to me, in the macro, in the grand scheme of things, we talking about, you know what I'm saying, the inability to keep up with the natural resources that we have on the planet because niggas are living forever. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
It can get real ugly. You see what I'm saying? We already complain about whether or not there's shortages with certain foods and, you know what I'm saying, the extinction of certain species of animals, whether or not we have clean water sources, all kinds of crap. We already complain about this stuff. We already looking for alternative ways to desalinate ocean water so we can have it in our in our water sources. You know what I'm saying? Then we say those things are too expensive. Things are only gonna get worse if we try to venture too far into it to the effect of corruptibility. If we're just sustaining life and making life better than what it already is, and I don't see an issue with it personally, but in the macro, it can get ugly, especially with the fact that human age is corruptible.
No, that's deep. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna give people a chance to come on if they wanna if they just want to say something, because we are at the end of there we go. Somebody said it. We are getting closer to the mark of the beast. We're getting we're at the point in the show where I just need to do me a favor. If you can communicate with the audience, can you type in the chat the link so that they can join us?
Too easy. I got you.
And so I would just say that I want to point out those things, because for those who missed, I'll do a quick rundown of the initial what transhumanism is as a whole. And so transhumanism is the intellectual and cultural movement that advocates for the use of advanced technologies to enhance human physical and cognitive abilities, potentially transforming the human condition. So we went over genetic engineering. They obviously you can use it positively. I'm sorry, my dog is barking. You can use it positively to weed out cancers and hereditary things. You could use it as a potential for. You could use it for a potential for getting rid of anything that you can be born with that could kill you, so to speak. That's the good side of it. Or genetically, you could use it to alter people, or creating chimeras and things like that, splicing animals. They already genetically modify food. They already have played within the lab genetically modifying other animals for whatever reason in other countries. So who's to say that they won't mess with human DNA? We talked about cybernetics. In movies, they turn people into Iron Man, but if you create a power suit and blow something up, that could be a negative impact. And so
even then, you could literally be framed, because if your body gets hacked and I can make you commit a crime, then you're going down for it.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. So you do know that they have the technology to superimpose you into footage.
Oh yeah. You're talking about the deep fakes.
Yeah, the deep fakes is getting crazy. Imagine somebody using AI to take you and put you in a crime that you wasn't there for. And then you get tried by regular humans like, yo, I saw you in the video. Like, I saw you. Like, everybody in the world saw you on the internet. Now, a lot of people don't know the difference between a deep fake and not. They even got rappers using dead people. And remember Drake had Tupac in the song?
It just happened.
Yeah, so imagine how nefarious things could become. So AI, you could lose your job to a computer. Eventually, you're gonna go to AI to get you the best money back on your taxes. You know what I mean? Working at the register will no longer be a thing either. You're gonna scan yourself, and there will be, what's the movie? What is it, Eagle Eye? Where it was able to find crimes happening. Imagine going to Walmart and you struggling, you don't have enough money to get a case of ground beef or some chicken wings, and you sneak out a loaf of bread. You going to jail.
Beyond that, let's say you're in a situation where, you know what I'm saying, you, for whatever reason, I don't know, you violated probation or something. You can't go in the supermarket and get no food. Like, you can be barred from feeding yourself or providing for your family. I already dropped the link, Trust and Believe. I don't know why it's not showing up. That's weird. I literally put it in there already. I don't know what's going on. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I drop it again.
Oh yeah, Minority Report was crazy too.
Yeah, it's not letting me drop the link in there. It's like it's not staying in there. It's weird.
Give me a second. I'll drop it. I know how to do it. I just have to find out how to. Let me see if I can invite. Copy. Yeah, I hit the copy and paste button, but I can't remember how to leave a comment using it.
Let me see if I can do it. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it for my
Post a comment. I figured out. I had to hit a button. You know, there we go. It's in there. You got it. Yeah, you can get caught with pre-crimes. Let's also we
crime is unconstitutional though, because you got to go through the process of due process, right? Like, how can I charge you with a crime you've yet to commit? By definition, it don't even make sense. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. You thought about it. You was at a stadium.
You know what I mean, son? You know what I mean? People have. Let me chill. The very definition of the word doesn't make sense. Pre-crime. Pre-crime? Like pre? What, if I'm not mistaken, what's the prefix for pre even mean, bro?
Yeah.
Crazy.
For sure. What's up? We got my man Nobody on here too. I'm gonna skip through life extension. We talked about life extension. They are working on theories and technological advancements. They even using cryogenics to freeze people's brains and bodies so that they can hold them over until they figure out how to upload their brains into some kind of network. They haven't really figured it out fully yet, but that's something that they're working on. I don't know if y'all.
Devin, if you don't mind, I want to touch on something that you just said like 2 or 3 minutes ago, real quick.
You got it.
About crimes and stuff. You know how they can put you in places that you weren't even at, and still frame you for what. I just watched a video this morning. It was a prank video, but a video nonetheless. And what happened was this policeman was acting like he was locking up this dude who just robbed this bank, right? And what they did was they went around the corner and took pictures of random people, right? Took their pictures and put them in the photo with the dude who had supposedly robbed the bank. So when the police had the man in handcuffs and he was asking who was your accomplice, the man said, "Reach in my pocket, and pull out my billfold." And when he pulled out his billfold, it was pictures in his billfold. And each person that was at the little scene right there, they was in the photo with the man. You know what I'm saying? That was robbing the bank. Yeah, like it's crazy, bro.
I saw that. Yeah, and that's basically it. That's a good point, bro.
That's crazy. So people that wasn't even there, he took pictures of random people on the street and was including them in his story.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I saw that. It was a funny prank, but it's crazy.
Yeah, it was a prank. Yeah. But it's real though. How they did it is actually something we can do with our phones and stuff though. You know.
Yeah, and it's gonna get better. It's gonna get way better.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to talk about my uploading again. I'm sorry that this one, for whatever reason, this one was skewed off the actual slide. But my uploading is right now. It's in the theoretical concept and facts. They saying that your mic was low. So it's a theoretical concept that involves transferring or emulating human consciousness in a digital format. So that would be allowing a person to be to receive digital immortality. Now, I know we're not there yet, but I saw that was something that it was discussing. If you go to a forum or some of the websites for transhumanists and some of the things that they have on their agenda to work on, those are things that they want to do. And so Walt Disney is actually one of the first people that I knew of that they froze him and his brain. And then they did what's called cryogenic. Yup, Pan said it. Cryogenics. And so cryogenics is where they freeze you and then they thaw you out later. You're frozen at a certain temperature, whereas when they thaw you out, you still as fresh as the day you die. So they freeze you before you start rotting, so that they can use some of that stuff, use your DNA or your brain data later. So that's very interesting, and a lot of people don't know that these things are actually happening behind the scenes. And so we talked about the ethical side of things, but I want to ask y'all a question. Ain't nobody. All right, so I'm gonna give you question two. So in a dystopian scenario, what dystopian scenarios might arise from unchecked advancements in transhumanism, or like what kind of negative things can happen if we use those robots, or we use geofencing, whereas though you leave outside of the city limits, your car cut off. Do you think that do you think because of those things happen, we should either A, get rid of that type of technology, or should we put rules in place where it can't be used in a nefarious way? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I feel like, anything that can be used for good can be used for bad 10 times more. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Those robots and AIs and all that, they don't have emotions. They can only be programmed. So whatever they're programmed to do, if it's something that goes against morality, then they don't have no moral code or no moral standard or any of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? So even though it could be used for good, I think that the negative implications on it is going to outweigh what the positive implications are. You see what I'm saying? Like you said, a person can be in a tech car trying to go do something, and if the surveillance and all that don't want you to do it, then it's just a press of a button. You know what I'm saying? That goes with your finances and bank accounts and all that. By money going digital and all that, if we want to say that we're going to cut you off, they can just press a button and cut you off. There is no, we take cash now and you can go put the money under your bed and still go buy something. You know what I'm saying? You would only be limited to what they would allow us to do. And we know that this world is ran by evil people. So they're going to try to present those things to us in a positive light. But at the end of the day, it's going to backfire on most of us, man. That's what I think about that stuff, man.
I agree. I really think, like, no more shoebox money, no more mattress money, couch money. You gotta use what they gave you. You know what I mean? So we talked about early on. We talked about China. They had something called WeChat and WePay through their surveillance, and it comes with a demerit system. If you do wrong, they deduct points. If your points get very low, you can't purchase nothing. You can't even use the what do you call it? The power station to charge your Tesla. Here's what's crazy. His Tesla charging stations are becoming the industry standard. He has the social media platform, formerly known as Twitter, now called X. He could easily connect Twitter to the Starlink satellites and the Tesla vehicles, and then all he would have to do is connect with drones and surveillance, and then all of a sudden, we got you on Thursday. You left work 5 minutes early. Demerit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what does that sound like? I mean, I know all of us are believers. I was the one that put that in the chat. Don't that sound like the system that the Bible talks about, where you're not going to be able to buy or sell or do anything unless, you took this mark, and like you said, they can cut you off at any time. Like we see it growing right now in front of our faces, bro. Right now. It's happening right in front of our eyes, man.
You ain't lying. I mean, regardless of people want to attribute it to the scriptures, the reality is buying, selling, or trading in China has been affected by what the government dictates. The surveillance levels, like literally depending on how they feel about you, they can stop you from charging your car. Imagine living in a 15-minute city. What's the movie where they fought and the one girl had the bow and arrow, Cadmus or something like that, where they was locked in different districts?
I can tell you.
Yeah, that Mockingjay shit.
Hunger Games, the Hunger Games type of stuff. It seemed like it was like if you put little teeny cities in places where you limit it to your own particular area, you can't travel outside of this particular 15-minute radius. That's definitely not a good look.
Have you seen
So
the?
I can again, and this I'm not trying to play a devil's advocate and remove my faith off the table for a second, right?
Turn your mic up.
Turn my mic up. Hold on 1 second. All right, what about now? That's better?
I mean, I can hear you fine. Hello, y'all still there?
Yeah, I'm testing. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can turn
I
it up. Keep talking, and I'll just turn it up from the settings.
All right, bet. So as I was saying, removing my faith from the table for a second, right? Just talking about, and realistically, I don't want to sound like that guy, but it's hard to remove my faith and also talk ethics, because what am I basing my ethics on, right? That's crazy. But anyway, just talking about the idea of what's ethical from what's unethical, right? And of course, that's going to vary from person to person, right? The idea that you're going to limit a person speaks to there being some form of justice being implemented, right? Like if I have to restrict your movement, it's because of something you did, or there's a reason for why that took place. But again, much like what Nobody said moments ago, just as something can be done for good, something can be done for an immense amount of evil as well. And that's where it gets really ugly, right? So for me, I don't necessarily disagree with geofencing in practicality. From a practical standpoint, like I get it. We technically have geofencing right now by keeping people in prison. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're just not using technology. However, we also have a lot of black men and black women and other people who are in jail for no reason at all. They were framed or otherwise. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't even take technology to do that. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah. Have y'all seen the videos? Not to cut y'all off. Have y'all seen the videos going around? Regular people like us are going to their banks trying to get cash out of the banks, and the bank is telling them that they can't get them no cash. Have y'all
Yeah.
saw them videos? That's
Yep.
man.
What?
Yeah, bro. One dude, he said that he got like whatever $10,000 or whatever dollars in the bank. He was trying to get $3,000 out in cash. It's his money. He got the money in the bank. The teller is telling him, "I cannot give you it in cash."
I would close that account. I would immediately close
Bro,
the account.
he's sitting there arguing with this lady like, "It's my money. Like, give me my money." They called the police on this dude, and the police removed him from the bank, and it's his money.
Yeah. Those things is happening.
In America, now I saw it in China years ago. Like Darren was saying, China. Every single person that stays in China is inside their database. They have hundreds of thousands of cameras every single inch of China, to where they have these green boxes that go around your head. They know where every single person is at in every moment of the day. How much debt do we owe to China? Over 95% of it. So this welcome to China. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
Like this is like bro, it's crazy, bro. I've been watching this stuff for years, and for y'all to do a show on this, man, I think this type of stuff need to be talked about more. Like the brother was saying, whether you're a Christian or not, it's kind of hard for us to kind of take our faith out of it. But if you're a Christian or not, this affects you too. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's a
it's
fact.
that
That's
serious.
a fact. That's
You
a
know what
fact.
I'm saying?
It's wild to me. It's wild to me that it comes down to beliefs when this literally has an effect on every single person.
Everybody, bro. Everybody.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine for a minute you get up. You had an argument with your manager yesterday, and you get up. Not only do you not have a job, but your whole social score is just dramatically low. You can't get a job the next day. You can't get. It's insane, bro. It could affect your life in a dramatic way.
yeah, I'm with you on that. I understand completely. And so I brought up the slide again because nobody so eloquently put it. China has a strong surveillance situation. And if you live in the city like Hong Kong and certain areas, the mainstream China, they not playing games. They not playing games at all. Not at all. Maybe if you lived in the rural areas where it's more farmland or it's remote, like certain people in China do, because China is huge. But if you live anywhere near the towns, they definitely got you on a database. And so I don't want to make this video too long, but I want to ask one more question. And so, how do transhumanist aspirations for immortality or extended lifespans intersect with philosophical concepts of the value of life? So, the acceptance of mortality and ethical implications of altering natural life cycles. Like, so I'll ask it a different way. Do you think it's wrong for people to want to live forever? If somebody decides that they want to be immortal, do you think that that's an issue there? Is that an ethical issue?
Is this for everybody? Just asking you.
Well, anybody who wants to answer. Do you think having an aspiration for immortality or extended life, like if I wanted to live 998 years and I'm already, is this wrong?
I believe there's nothing wrong with the pursuit of immortality, as that's generally human nature, right? Like it's innate within us to want to live forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a Christian, so I approach my immortal pursuits differently than others, right? However, the issue of living forever in the physical presents the problem of we don't have inexhaustible resources. Our resources are not inexhaustible, and we will find ourselves in a situation where those who can live forever will kill those who can't in order to maintain control of the resources, ensuring that they themselves can hoard as much of it as possible. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we don't have an endless amount of, we don't have an endless amount of food. We don't have an endless amount of energy. We don't have an endless amount of, you see what I'm saying? These things are not permanent. We don't, it's not sustainable. That's the word that I'm looking for, right? So natural life cycles allow for these things to be regenerative. You tracking what I'm saying?
Right. You die, they can begin to checks and balance can replace. You die, that space of time can give plants and fruit and vegetables a time to regrow and replenish.
Exactly. Now, I want to reference a very popular pop culture reference with a movie called In Time with Justin Timberlake, right? In this movie, there were people who had an abundance of time. And because they had an abundance of time, they lived forever. While those who did not have an abundance of time, they lived day to day after they reached the age of 25. You track what I'm saying? They live day to day after that. They got to earn their time. You see what I'm saying? And that was the rich people's ways of controlling the utilization of resources and otherwise. You track what I'm saying? There was a strict class system there, a very strict class system. That class system was built around time. In this case, with granted, time was endless, right? I'm glad they used time, because time is one thing that you can't even really put a limit on, right? It's continual, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, when it comes to the idea of putting constraints on the amount of time a person can have, then it can become immoral. You track what I'm saying? Oh, you can have 900 years, but I can't. You see what I'm saying? So that's where me personally, I think it can become an unethical thing. Like that's where I think it can be wrong. Like, yeah, you're pursuing this in a way where you can hoard resources. We see it with money. We see it with literal fiat currency and even digital currency. You can hoard all of this while shutting other people out. You track what I'm saying? You can hold, you can control the resource, you control the amount that you can have, but I can only have the minimal amount. That's when I think it becomes very, very interesting, to say the least. Because if some people can really think about it, right? I'm gonna shut up after this. What price would you put on immortality? And that's a question for you.
Yeah, that's deep. So the price of immortality. I
mean, literally, like if you had to put a dollar amount on immortality, what would you price
it? It would probably be well up in the billions.
It'd be astronomical.
Yeah, astronomical. Yeah, it would be a lot of money for that.
It would be an astronomical amount of money. So now the question comes down to who can afford to live forever and who can't. You see what I'm saying?
There's only 1% of the population that could probably even get close enough to even be able to, where money is no option. We're talking about
you couldn't work hard enough. That's what I'm saying. You couldn't work hard enough to buy immortality.
And then who would dictate, the people who are qualified to even get it?
Exactly. So that's where I think Again, speaking from a Christian standpoint, I come in immortality differently. You track what I'm saying? Because I already believe, and I don't care who believe what I believe. This is just me standing what I believe. I already believe that the human soul is literally eternal. You track what I'm saying?
Right.
I believe.
Agreed.
Even if I'm using a scientific approach to this, you feel me? You can literally neither destroy or create matter. Period and point blank. That's definitively scientifically proven. By that logic, and this is me using the fact that a soul is energy, right? There's an energy there. Period and point blank. That energy has to go somewhere. It doesn't get destroyed. You see what I'm saying?
Gotta go somewhere.
You see what I'm saying? It's not destroyed. So me as a Christian, I believe that energy passes on to a certain realm. That's what we're gonna call it. You track what I'm saying? So me personally, with that perspective that I possess, I already know I don't really got to worry about immortality because I'm covered in that realm. But if we talk about living forever in the physical, bro, consider the world right now, bro. We have an issue with air quality. We have an issue with obesity and also scarcity at the exact same time. There are people who can't eat, and then there's people who eat too much. Imagine that. Imagine that. You see what I'm
Even
saying?
the drugs, and think about it from this standpoint. Even the drugs that they give us, you can overdose on that stuff.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You try what I'm saying? So, from the perspective of right or wrong, you see what I'm saying? Removing my faith for a second, which is insane because my ethics is built on my faith, right? Removing my faith for a second, just the concept of the cost of immortality alone, because we know for a fact that everybody will not be given that ability. We just know that. We just know that. And even if, let's say they were to give everybody immortality, right? Let's say they gave every single person the ability to be immortal. How are we going to run that system? Where are we going to get the energy from? We already have an expiration date on the sun. You can Google that. You can Google that. You can Google that. You see what I'm saying?
And then who gets to live forever? Hitler? Manson?
Exactly. Exactly. And then even then, who determines whether you? So I get to pull the plug on you because you committed a crime. You see where you don't get no due process. It's really crazy. It's really crazy to think about. So me personally, I'm gonna say in the physical, if you're looking to live forever in the physical, I think it's the most selfish thing that a person could ever even consider, because you're not even thinking about the fact that there's resources that are that are not inexhaustible that other people need to have some of too. You track what I'm saying? We got water problems. There was a whole drought in California not long ago. Like you to me, in my opinion, that's the most selfish aspiration a person can have in the physical.
Look at Flint, Michigan. We've been knowing about this for at least 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Water still messed up. Even though we got all this fresh water, bottled water, all this water, these people are still going through that stuff. Who gets to dictate and determine that? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even for the people who think that, I can live on this earth for the rest of my life for eternity, what are the benefits? Because it's just gonna get more wicked. Like you said, even if you don't believe in Christianity, don't believe in the Bible, whatever you do believe in, it's gonna be somebody who you disagree with in their lifestyle that have the option to live forever on this earth, and the people that agree with them would have a better chance of having immortality than you if you're going against the majority. So it's all screwed up. It's all screwed up. I wouldn't want to live here forever, to be honest, man. This world is so crazy, and based off of the people who are in power, we can see how it's going just right now with us. So imagine if we could have immortality on this earth. Give it another 50 years, 100 years. Who are going to be the people that are in power? And I keep going back to this. Who are going to dictate the people who get to live forever? I'm not going to be able to do it. Darren ain't going to be able to do it. You ain't going to be able to do it, bro. And then it's also subjective based off of the person who's in power. What if I don't like rapists? But then we got a whole organization, NAMBLA, National Boy Man Love Association. If the National Boy Man Love Association get into power and they are the ones who got their finger on the button to determine who get to have immortality and who don't, then I'm out of there. Darren out of there.
You really got to consider all the possibilities. It's really crazy to think about. It's really great because, like I said, it's not even sustainable in practicality. It's not practically sustainable. That means that in order to maintain the energy, right? Let's consider robotics. Let's say you could have your consciousness moved into a robot. Who's going to supply the energy for you to live?
Mm.
And you see what I'm saying? Who 9 times out of 10, the people that are supplying the energy for you to live are gonna make you work for it while they sit down and you give them energy for free. You're probably the generator for the entire thing. It's almost like the Matrix when I think about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
makes
for
sense.
sure.
And
Makes sense, bro.
I mean ramble on. It's just to me, in and of itself, the very notion of being immortal in the physical is the most selfish aspiration that anybody can have. My personal opinion.
Yeah, man. I just appreciate y'all for jumping on. Shout outs to J Fax for being my B mic number 2. You know what I mean? You could have ran the show by yourself if you wanted. Shout outs to my man Nobody for jumping on. You know, I'll leave y'all with these thoughts. In terms of transhumanism, right? I will say my closing statement is I believe that having the ability to take care of certain things like cancer and cybernetics and being able to, I guess, wean out genetically things that keep us getting sick. I think that those things is a noble cause. But with every positive thing, there always is somebody using the same technological advancements or information in a different way. You can turn hunting rifles became murder weapons. You know what I'm saying? At first it was with deers. I need to hunt me some deer down. They keep getting away. The bow too slow. You know what I mean? So it's like with anything good, it could be used for evil. So my closing thought is transhumanism at the fundamental base level, I don't have a issue with it. I do believe that there is some things like reality is simulated existence. The Rise channel, that person says no immortality is neither wrong nor is it selfish.
They
And
had
then
to come in. They had to come
I
in at the
disagree.
bottom. I was saying.
yeah,
Because
and then they go ahead. What were you gonna say?
no, so they had to come in at the bottom end of what I was saying because that's
Yeah.
there's no way that they walked away with that being the basis of what I was saying.
Yeah, they probably left and came back because I saw the numbers rise and fall a few times. So the goal, and he also said, he or she also said that that's the goal in the Bible, eternal life. And
What side of it though? That's what side of eternal life though? Because you can spend eternal life with, I'm using quotations with good people, or you can spend eternal life with bad people.
Correct.
facts.
Not only that, the eternal life that's promised it's not corruptible when it comes to what's being discussed in the Bible.
Let's go.
This isn't something corruptible. I don't have to worry about energy being sustained. I don't have to worry about there being a hierarchy. I don't have to worry about becoming. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a bunch of things that the Christian faith doesn't state when it comes to having eternal life in the physical. Eternal life in the physical, if we were having the ability to do so through transhumanism, moving our consciousness, or even having some type of cybernetic body, it's to me, it's incredibly selfish because I promise you, you will not be on the top of that totem pole. You will be the gerbil on the wheel, powering those that want to sit on their ass all day.
Just like today, just like we see the presidents and the UN, and this the point we're trying to make to y'all.
Oh my God, what's your name? What's your name? Nobody.
Yeah, I'm the co-host of this channel, bro. Me, DMG, this the channel.
They're not even talking about term limits we got problems with people sitting in Congress too long.
Right now. So if immortality was like gold or like silver, you think we gonna have the majority? No, nigga, they gonna have it. like they go back. Who gets to determine and dictate who gets this thing? If immortality is gold, we can see the way that the world going right now. So let's say immortality is on the plate. These people are gonna already have a monopoly on it before any of us.
Exactly.
If you're a Christian or not, I don't care what you believe in. I don't care what it is. You disagree with it. If you live in America and you're a black person, and I'm not limited it to being black. Let's just say, if you stay in America and you're a black person and you feel like we're on the bottom, if immortality was a thing that was on the plate, and excuse my language, nigga, you still ain't gonna have it. Like, come on, man.
It's just a fact, though. Like, just consider the fact that everything is corrupted now. These people are sitting in Congress making $250,000 a year, son. A year. They're making $250,000 sitting off your tax dollars. You're working to keep
Come on.
them. What do you think would happen if you had immortality in the physical? They turn you into a literal battery. You'd be the workhorse running the entire system. Like, it just, to Jamel, given the sensitivities of our world, given the balance of our world, it does not sustain immortality. It does not. So that's why I say, if you want to be immortal in the physical, then it is one of the most selfish aspirations you can have, because our resources are limited. And I can guarantee you this. If it wasn't for a lot of the GMO meats and things of that nature that we have being produced, all the chickens being born almost overnight and be growing in seconds, you wouldn't even be able to eat. You wouldn't be able to eat.
Now you eating GMOs, but them people at the top, they eating the real thing. Like come on, man. Like, come on, man. Stop playing. They're gonna hoarder it. They're gonna hoarder all this stuff for themselves. And if they have the power to dictate if we can eat at their table, for all the people who say, if the white man and they did us wrong doing slavery and did us wrong doing all this and that, you think you're gonna have a seat at that table just because you can live forever? If you were able to live forever, then you just gonna live forever in the conditions that you already in. You're still not gonna be able to change nothing.
That's a fact.
Like, come on, man.
That's a fact.
I agree with a lot of what y'all saying. I'll put this last comment up from one of our guests, which said eternal life is on earth, and then it's a cycle of creators and creation. We as humans are now creator gods, creating new beings. The gods become immortal, and there will always be good gods and evil gods. There will never be good only.
That's false, bro.
That's your belief, fam. I mean,
that's false. We're not creating new beings. We're taking the beings that we are and trying to enhance that. AI is not a being. It's a computer programmed by beings, human beings. AI is something that we create to make our life a little easier. Now, if we lived, let's say 3,000 years ago, the person that came up with cotton and all that, they were trying to be comfortable too, because it's all about comfortability. AI allows us, for example, I can walk in my house and say, Siri, cut my lights on. Siri, cut my TV on. When 50 years ago, I would have to go cut my lights on. I would have to get, if I want to be lazy, hey, son, change that channel for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lie. You know what I'm saying? We are not creating gods at all. Now, I agree. People are trying to play God, but they have to use the things that God left here for them to manipulate it to do what they're doing now. They are actually not creating anything. What they're doing is developing. Developing means I'm using materials that are already here to enhance what's already here. We actually don't create anything, even when it comes to our own kids. I didn't create my two my two daughters and my son. I used the reproductive system that whoever the creator is, let's just say you're not a Christian, whoever the creator is, he put the reproductive system in man and woman so that when we have sex, we are able to produce another human. But we didn't create that. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. It's all faulty. Long story short, it's all faulty because we are not God. Let me say it that way.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all for being on the show.
Of course, D. Of course, D. Thank you.
This was a good topic for me. I'm excited about the feedback that y'all gave. I appreciate y'all for just doing what y'all do best, and that's just show the love and discuss something to me that's important. And this was us just creating the opportunity to discuss what transhumanism is. Thank you for everybody in the comments. I'm glad that this show was able to be done. Shout out to Reality. It's Simulated Existence on the Rise channel. Check them out. They support us. They was definitely able to have a discussion with us. this is what I feel like what this channel should be about, is developing discussions on different paradigms, different belief systems, and just things that need to be looked at. So without further ado, appreciate you, Nobody. Appreciate you, J Facts. I'm Darian. I'm signing out from Paradigm Shift 314.
Yeah,
Darren, before we sign out, can I give a closing real quick too, if you don't mind?
Go for it.
All right. I just wanted to say, for the brother that's in the comment section that says good cannot exist without evil, yes, it can. Evil is a byproduct of the absence of good. Good is not a byproduct of the absence of evil. You know, you can have good without evil, but you can't have evil without good. It's kind of like darkness and light. When that light show up, that darkness leaves. Darkness can't overpower light. It don't matter if you have a candle and you in a desert where it's 12 o'clock at night, pitch black. You're going to be able to see that light. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that good can exist without evil. It's that evil is a byproduct of doing the opposite of what good is. And y'all already know me. I ain't got to explain myself. I'm the co-host of Paradigm Shift TV 314. I go by the name of Nobody because I'm always trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody, and that is Jesus the Christ. And I appreciate you, Darren. We need more shows like this because people need to see that even though we may disagree on our faiths or our beliefs or our religion, we unify when it comes to positive and negative about stuff that we understand based off of how long you've been here on this earth. And we need more shows like this for us to come together. And I'm all about division. Don't get me wrong. I'm a divide with a person that's evil over a person that's good. But we need more shows like this to show that, bro, we all humans, bro. We think just like y'all think, man. And just because we Christians, we shouldn't be shunned in seeing what we see the world how it's operating today, man. And that's my closing comment, man.
J Facts, you got a closing comment?
Nah, bro, I'm good, man. Y'all killed it. I really love this topic. I honestly was shaky, but I didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I did. But you definitely put together an amazing slideshow, bro. It was popping. Nobody. It was a pleasure sitting here on the mic with you, bro. Thank you so much for hopping on. I really appreciate the opportunity. This was a dope topic.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Shout outs to DMG one more time. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the battle, the debate league, battle of the ideologies, Classic Craig and Ratchet Craig, the Craig and Craig law firm, Paradigm Shift 314 DMG. They putting together a beautiful debate. A debate series. Shout outs to you got Benu versus A1 coming up. You got Jamel, aka J Facts, going against Pan, in the first round. So that's gonna be coming up soon. So stay tuned for the latest and greatest on that. And me as your host, signing out, the boy Darian. I'm just happy to be around, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.
We appreciate